my school, it's okay, but it can be better in certain ways.
It can improve.
Cause all that fighting, they got like too many people in there that's from different neighborhoods that's into it, and I don't think they should do that. They should have like one neighborhood and one school or something like that. There's too many neighborhoods in one school, and that's why they doing all that shooting and fighting in there.
Our school, just like any other Chicago public school, it's nice. It's a nice school, but ain't no school out there perfect. Every school need help, just like our school need help. It can improve. I mean, it can get better, but it takes time for things to get better. You basically have kids who don't want to learn. I mean, not only do you have lack of attendance, but you have lack of learning. So it always be like you have to share something. It could be like 30 kids in class. It only be like 8 books. So you really have people mad, not focused on what they're supposed to do. So it's kind of impossible to learn. You always have so many distractions around you that sometimes the teacher don't even care. It's real wrong. So that's what really my school needs to focus on, is safety. The safety situation, you always have fights. It's just a lot of stuff going on as far as safety. One time, it was another one just recently too, a boy, he had got into our school with a gun, and the police shot him. So it's a lot of stuff that should, as far as safety goes, it needs to improve. It needs to improve. It should improve.
First off, I want to say I think kids don't come to school because they don't feel safe, and that there's a lot of gangs and stuff at school. And by that, we should make more security guards, have more security guards, more cameras in the school, and maybe the kids will feel safe.
We have not only security guards in our building, we've been increasing the number of cameras, and we've been working in close partnership with the police department to increase the police presence in situations where there's clearly a need for, more security presence. Because if the students are coming to school, well, they won't come to school, first of all, if they're feeling insecure and they don't feel that there's a safe passageway to school, and they simply won't be focused on their work if they're afraid in the building.
First of all, there is the enforcement side. You understand what we mean by enforcement. Enforcement is discipline, and if it's a violation of crime, arrest, right? There is that side of it. But you can't arrest everybody. You know what I mean? So we do things in the schools to dissuade young people from doing it. Like, for example, I found that by installing camera system in the schools, that the level of violence does drop a lot in the school. It goes down a lot. We have a school that on the southwest side where we just installed a big camera system in there, and their incidents of violence dropped by like 2/3 in 1 year. So it does drop. But then there's the other side that works very well. And the other side is things like peer juries work, peer counseling works, things like encouraging principals, to create things in the school so that students can interact positively, forums, to do things together.
Our biggest concern is safety. So if the safety of the professionalism of some security guards, what can be done to ensure students feel safe and security guards remain professional?
Yeah, it's a great question. Overall, just 2 numbers, the level of safety in the schools for the system is getting better. Violence in schools was down about 15% last year. It's going to be down about 30% this year if we end the year well. So it's going the right way, but until we're down to 0, we have to continue to get better. So what does that mean in terms of training for security guards? We started 2 years ago, and this was also a little controversial. We actually have students help to do the training of all the security guards in August coming back to the school year. We included students from the Mikvah Challenge. And there was some resistance to that at first. People thought I was a little bit crazy on that. But students did a phenomenal job, and that was very, very helpful. On an ongoing basis, I think the overwhelming majority of security guards do a very good job. Where they don't, and if they abuse their power, abuse their position, they lose their job, and we're going to continue to do that.
If it's all these security guards, why are these issues steady coming into my school? That's how I feel. So.
Okay, I go to King, and it's good and bad about the security guards, but the bad overrules it because the security guards don't really do their jobs. Then they have sexual relationships with the kids, And I think they can improve that by like doing their job, protecting us like they're supposed to be doing.
One of the issues at our school basically is have security guards have sexual relationships with students, and I don't think that's right. I think you shouldn't be looking at someone way younger than you. And also have security guards feel the need, since they have power, they could just hit you, do whatever they really want to you just because they have powers.
We've had complaints about particularly male security guards being inappropriate with our female students.
Yes.
That kind of thing is absolutely unacceptable to me. So when we hear about that, and with cameras now we have more visibility on these things literally, when you hear about that, that individual will be terminated immediately. Overall, again, I think they do a very, very good job, but where you have one or two that aren't doing the right thing, we need to continue to deal with it openly and honestly and aggressively. And I think the more we continue to have students helping the training of security guards to sort of build those bridges, so it's not us versus them, but sort of one team, I think that's going to pay a lot of dividends for particularly our high schools.
We've had complaints against security personnel, and where before it was like he said, she said. Well, now, because we have cameras in many of our schools, it's right on camera. So we've been able to discipline security personnel because of the fact that the things that they did wrong were actually caught on camera.
In terms of the unprofessional conduct of any security personnel, it's important for those incidents, those isolated incidents, to be reported so that they can be investigated. And clearly, if there are individuals who are not meeting our standards, they should be disciplined, and it could lead to dismissal. So I would just, simply urge in situations where you or others have observed this to ensure that the appropriate notification is provided at the school level.
I know as far as a police officer that work at school pulling their gun out of it, I done seen like police officers beat up students, like handcuff them.
You should, well, if they handcuff students and then beat them, then you should have let someone. Believe me. I mean, we could have a conversation about that, because that's definitely wrong.
That happened last year.
Definitely wrong.
Happened this year when we got suspended.
That can't happen.
That ain't supposed to happen?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's not. It's just, And again, if it does happen, they're rare. I may get 1 or 2 complaints a year like that, that accuse an officer of beating up a student, particularly if they're already handcuffed.
On behalf of my school, like, some of us are smarter than our teachers, and I think that they should have a higher degree for the teachers to get before they become a teacher or something, because some of these teachers don't know what they're talking about. And I guess the kids feel like, well, why should I come to school and listen to this lady? She don't know what she's talking about. When I could ask me questions. Right, I could be living a fast life, you know what I'm saying? Some people see all these drugs and all these gangs and stuff and all that fast money. They think that's the right way to go, but in the long run, that ain't gonna help you out though.
Well, all of our teachers are required to have an Illinois teaching certificate, and if they teach in a particular subject area, for example, if it's mathematics or science or social studies, they're required to have a content area endorsement as well. But the certification comes from the state.
Now, credentials is your teacher's qualifications for standing in front of you and teaching you. Did they go to school to teach you science? If your gym teacher is constantly teaching you chemistry, that's a problem.
Teachers have to have a bachelor's degree, and they have to pass whatever test they have to take in their subject area, and 100% of the teachers we hire in the Chicago Public Schools have to be certified. So every teacher coming in the system is certified. I think what we desperately need at the high school level is not just teachers that know their content, not just know biology or algebra. You need teachers that care passionately about their students as people. And it's different. In college, you could be a great, talk about your area of expertise and be a great lecturer, a great professor. Our teens today, more so than ever before, need mentors, they need role models, they need adults they can talk to if something's going wrong, either at home or in the community. They need people who are going to support them beyond just teaching them a specific subject area. And so to me, it's less about sort of teaching methods. There's a whole range of methods, and I think there are lots of different ways to be a great teacher. But what you need, I think, is great passion. You need a commitment to our teens. You need a willingness to stick with them through good times and bad.
And so what we've been really doing over the last few years is really working with our teachers and supporting them in trying to engage the students in collaborative projects and collaborative activities where they have to really explore certain concepts and really try to respond to higher level questioning. And so we want our students to be engaged and to enjoy what they're doing, and that's what we're really working towards.
We have high expectations for students, then what we're doing is we're asking them to do really, really hard work. And hard work takes a lot of what we call effective effort and sustained effort, where you have to study an issue, not just by reading one book. You have to go on the internet, you have to interview people, you have to go find original documents, and that takes time. We think it's our obligation to teach. If a student isn't learning, it's our responsibility. It's our failure.
I would actually say another thing to be worried about is healthy food. I think that's like a major problem because you have a lot of kids obese at a young age, so and we get the same food every day. So I think
what food are you eating every day?
Pizza, nachos,
That's
just
it.
fats. You might have a couple of fruits out there, and that's as far as it goes.
So not many options?
Not many options. People complain about it, so I think something should be done about it. If you have kids complaining and people making complaints, something should be done.
Well, we actually have a policy that promotes nutrition education so that students can learn more about nutrition requirements, and so they can inform their eating habits, and in some cases work with families so that they can prepare better types of foods for the children and guide the students in the selection of items for their lunch and dinner, things of that nature. As you know, we eliminated the vending machines with all the fast foods a few years ago and the pop and all of that, because we wanted to ensure that not only did we have a policy that promoted nutrition education, that we actually were eliminating things within the environment. The other thing that I can say is that we really promote physical activity among our students, and we want more of them, in particular at the high school level, to get involved in different types of sports so that they can have an opportunity. It's not only just watching what you're eating, it's really exercising as well.
Okay, there are many students in CPS that are overweight, so basically, what is the policy about nutrition in school?
We actually passed in August of last year, 2 years ago, no, August of 2006, a local school wellness policy. It talks about providing students with good nutrition as well as pushing an active lifestyle. Something we did a few years ago, which maybe you weren't happy about, is we took the vending machines. We took the snack machines out of the schools. And we did that intentionally because we didn't think that stuff that was in there was nutritious, and we tried to replace that with healthier foods. We've also gotten rid of all the whole 2% milk, and we're trying to do a lot more around daily fresh salads and fruit offered a couple times a week. And so we're trying to get a lot better, although we definitely have a ways to go.
Well, I think that the health fair is important on a couple of different levels. First, it gives our students the sense of empowerment in that they're doing something for their community. Second, we've already had over 100 people, adults and children, walk through, and they've all left with valuable information about how to take care of themselves.
And just to piggyback off of what Jeff said, a lot of the organizations that came out today, many people don't know that much information about like sickle cell anemia, diabetes, asthma. So even if you weren't interested in these issues or diseases, now that you had an opportunity to walk past, you got a little information. You know, one of our kids just asked me, you know, tell me a little bit more about sickle cell anemia, which is a way to experience awareness. So I think it's important because it just teaches people about different things, and we need that in our community because so many people are ignorant to diseases that are affecting, you know, this population.
Right. And I also think it's increasing communication about it. Like, there was a mother here who was explaining sickle cell to her younger son, who is probably 10 or 11, because their cousin has it. So it's striking up conversations about important topics, getting them talking about sexually transmitted diseases, hygiene. We've done workshops about hand washing and the importance of that. So.
And also, just one more thing, it gives information about new technologies that's out. The ladies that are here from the asthma research came with a new inhaler that I didn't know anything about, and I'm asthmatic myself. So it just teaches you that there's always evolving medication, and you know, just having people here who know about these issues is extremely beneficial.
And another question is, what can parents and students do to change how and what students are being taught?
What we need, just as we're pushing teachers very hard to step up, we have to continue to push parents very hard to step up. I think honestly, particularly in the teenage years at the high school level, too often parents abdicate their responsibility. They back off. And I think our teenagers today need their parents more than they ever do.
But as a mom, I'm going to be around. And what I mean by around is I'm going to be around every report card pickup. I'm going to be around if their grades are slipping. I'm going to be around when they have no parent assembly, whether we won't be there. Because they're not 18 yet. Now, parties, I'm not going to be around. Unless I find out they're doing something listed in the party. Then or drinking or smoking or whatever, then I'm going to be around. But free to go to the school parties, I'm not around with that. But anything pertaining to your academic development, from you going and graduating, I'm going to be there. A lot of our students go to college and don't come. 35 black boys go to college, and 100 go and only 35 walk out.
If you're an African-American young man who makes it to the 9th grade, only 3% of you will go on and get a college degree. The statistics for young women are not that much better. This is totally unacceptable, and we know that it's not the students who are incapable.
At the same time, we recognize that there is a need for additional funding from the state. We often talk about the fact that the state of Illinois ranks 49th out of all 50 states in terms of educational funding. And over the past few years, there have been massive efforts that involve not only the district, but also many parents and religious leaders and community leaders who have actually gone down to Springfield. And last year we had a number of high schools that participated as well. Went down to Springfield to try to highlight the fact that our schools need more funding so that additional resources that can be provided to students based on interest and need.
And just thank you. It was a great opportunity.
Good. How have you enjoyed the program?
It's been great. I've been with them for the whole year, ever since it started, so I enjoy it. We've been to major colleges, DePaul. That's what college I want to attend.
Good.
So,
what have you learned?
I have basically learned that to become a better person, I have known to work with a team, to basically team building and work with other people. We have a lot of people who come from different places, so, and Jeff and Angel, my bosses, understand me totally. I came from the bottom to the top. That's how I feel. So,
right.
And they've been working with me so much, and I achieved so many things as far as my attitude, my grades. So
super.
It's been awesome.
Thank you for your commitment. I heard a lot today about your efforts here at Donahue and how you've been tutoring some of the students and working in special activities with them. And so we really appreciate